Kepler couldn't take on the half volley. Falls on top of the ball. Footscray in tough. Ramiro, Liberatore. Free kicks going to Kepler.
The between wing plays on quickly. Victor Anthony Condon onto his left foot. Kicks one-on-one contest. Dunstall. Oh, it's just too strong. Uses his body beautifully.
It's been an exhibition of using your body tonight with Dunstall. Has just the ability to again lean into your opponent as he does here. Leans in, knows where the flight of the ball's going.
The question is, Lee, who can they put on him now? They've had Campbell on him. He's already had four goals kicked on him. They've had Crediuk on him. And obviously he was a bit too strong for Crediuk as well. So what options has Terry Wallace-Scott? You might have to scan through the team and see if you can come up with someone special.
Well, unless you're going to go with the Grant, which is taking right out of the play.
Jason Dunstall kicks. And unbelievably, he's got there only 6 goals.
He just might have to go back there, Lee.
Well, Dunstall has been good, but really the game's being played in Hawthorn's forward half at the moment. I mean, 6 goals, 8. It's 14 scoring shots to 4. Really, their back line's in control. In midfield is doing well. It's just the ball is just being bombed forward so often, and yeah, when that happens, Dunstall is just too good with his body use if he has that many opportunities.
Hawks now by 30 points. Liberatore couldn't take it. Salmon can. Back to Woods. Here come the Hawks once more. Back to 50. Crawford Ramiro. He's taking the points, Ramiro. Crediuk paddles the ball along. Chick happy to force it over. So another big chance for Hawthorn. Boundary throwing just 25 metres around, and Crediuk just indicating to his teammate, give me some talk.
And I think Footscray have gone with the mobile ruckman. Luke Darcy in the ruck, Scott Wine, Ilya Gridgic, I think both off the ground. Tall players, not really suited by Waverley.
Holland versus Darcy. Taylor. Back to Holland. Quick snap. This will be a miracle goal if he can kick it. Right on the line. Point. Kicked 19 goals this year, Holland. He's been a pretty good player since they moved him to centre half forward. Campbell bombs the ball long. Darcy's a target. Over the back. Looking for Liberatore. Trying to set something up. Not too many options on the forward line. Cameron. He's got Woods to beat. Crawford. Chips in front.
Great mark by Crawford. And picked up there by Taylor. Tony Liberatore standing the mark. Comes back into the centre. Salmon causing a real nuisance now. Doing some terrific work. Runs and runs hard through the centre. Dunstall again in front. Campbell does better this time. Dunstall taps it back to himself. Caught. Great strength of the body. Collins is there, pushed off the footy. Dunstall comes back for a third effort. So good work by the full forward to keep the ball in the area. And another bounce will probably throw up in that area there, as it's becoming very sticky out at Waverley in that centre strip. Tap forward. Johnson has got a lot of kicks, a lot of them under pressure. Ball goes out wide. Crawford and Ramiro. Crawford with a very clever kick off the ground. So does Condon. Hudson goes to ground and now caught. And if you don't move in that situation, they've been pinging them.
And you note that Condon's falling on top too.
Yeah.
I think these days, if you see your teammate caught laying over the ball, everyone piles on to make sure that the umpire balls it up and doesn't free kick.
There's the big fellas, Lawrence and Wine. Just do some limbering up exercises. So it's Holland and Grant. And Grant taps it towards the boundary line. Goes to Lekas. Terrific kick back to the front of the square. Over Campbell's head. Now to Darcy. Darcy breaks away. Kicks it back towards centre wing. Collins comes at it. So does Kellett. Great tap from Collins to Pritchard. Pritchard has to kick under pressure. The ball goes towards the boundary line and eventually out before Collins can get back.
It's interesting, Lee, that you mentioned about Scotty Wine being off and also Ilya Gridgic. Yet Salmon's having a terrific game with the 7 marks and 9 possessions, so he's actually revelling in the conditions.
He is, yeah. I think the big ground suits him because he's a smart ruckman. He knows where to position himself to get that in-between kick.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more there. I saw him play some state games for Victoria. He was very good at doing that in those games. To Martin. Oh, must have run a long way. Winds back on the ground and sets himself a horrible task by putting it right at his toes. Collins tidies up. He's also put his teammate under enormous pressure. And the free kick, Hudson intelligently played. Grabbed hold of the footy. And a free kick.
Conditions are difficult, Malcolm, but that, I think, was typical of the way Footscray's played. That hand pass to Scotty Wine was, down at his ankles.
Great kick there. Good disguise from Hudson, as Nick Holland did finally break away from Chris Grant. Not the longest kick in the competition. Goes well to the square, though. It was a pretty good kick in the end. Over the back to Chick. Caught. Doesn't quite get his boot to ball. Here's Graham. Working hard. Gives it back to Chick. Swings the ball around. Back in the goal square. It's all Footscray. And Martin takes a mark on his chest.
It's a long time since Footscray been forward of centre or forward of centre forward.
So down under 30 seconds. And a good mark for Crawford. So Hawthorn could finish this quarter off with a goal. To be marked by Hargraves. He's right on 50. Goes over the top trying to set it up. Condon. Back to Hargraves. Ball's been smothered. Back to Hargraves. Just seconds to go. So a terrific first half by Hawthorn. A great first half by Jason Dunstall, who has kicked the entire Hawthorn scoring goals. He's booted 6. He's also hit the post. He's got 2 other behinds. So he's kicked 6 goals 3 out of 6 goals 9. And a superb performance at full forward. Footscray 2-2-14. Also only the one solitary goal kicker. There he is on screen, Jason Watts. So between them, they have been dominating the forward line. Paul Salmon has had a marvellous game, been in outstanding form. He's taken 7 marks. He's had 10 possessions. Liberatore has had a tough night. He's had 7 possessions, but he's been well guarded and checked. Tony Woods on screen. It's been on Leon Cameron. There's been a lot of tagging. Ramiro and Crawford, who just started to break away late in that second term. So Hawthorn would be very happy, Lee.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, really, they've dominated the game. The only thing they'd be unhappy with is a 31-point margin. They've probably been a much better side than that.
Yes, and here we are at half-time. Hawthorn, 6-9-45. Footscray trailing 2-2-14. Let's hope Footscray can fight back a bit. So the second half to get underway. 31-point margin to Hawthorn. Salmon's been good, goes at it against Wine. Wine taps it, gets a second one. In tight was Credial, couldn't get hold of the footy. The ball socket forward. Woods and Quill go at it. And in underneath, players dive on the footy and a bounce.
It's an interesting thing that Curls just said. Then I was at the MCG today and saw Melbourne beat Carlton. And I suppose Melbourne in a similar situation, Lee, as Footscray. Not much to play for in terms of playing in the finals, but they played with tremendous pride today to beat a top side. And Footscray could take some solace from the fact that they could beat Hawthorn and therefore stop them from making the finals.
Yes, that's very true too. And Wirra knocks it forward. Yes, I want a great belief you can always learn something in a game of footy, and no matter what the scoreboard says. Hawthorn trying to work this down the wing with Taylor. He's had a lot of possessions. Great shepherding there from Wallace, allows Cool to come back onto the ball. Now goes inside to Ramiro, to Cameron. This is a better run. Smith kicks the ball very high and long. Players come at it, and a very good mark taken by Watts. So as mentioned with Lee Matthews at half-time, he really should be the extra rather than the key forward. And it's that predicament at Chris Grant, centre-half forward or centre-half back, isn't it? And at the moment he's in such good form at centre-half back, so he's a winner.
Cromwell just didn't time the punch, did he? He had the sit to be able to spoil, really, but didn't time the flight of the ball.
Well, if he kicks this, I don't think I've ever seen a game where 2 players either end have kicked the entire scores just after half-time. Amazing this will be. Kicks, pushes it to the right a bit, and so that stat still remains, excepting Dunstall with 6 and Watts just with 2. So they get the first score after half-time. They move on to 2-3-15. Now the margin is 30 points.
Yet Watts has kicked 36 goals. He is Footscray's highest goal scorer this year. Hargraves is there every now and again, but over the season, Watts has kicked the most.